Hi everyone and welcome to another Energy Panner tutorial. Today we'll be exploring the amazing multi-channel features of our newest plugin. Let's start with our first 7.1 file. This is a storm. It was created inside Sound Particles and rendered as a 7.1.2 file. So let's give it a listen. Let's start by adding the Energy Panner to our track. And since this will be on YouTube, we need to change the output to binaural. And let's give it a listen as it is right now. For those of you who don't know, the Energy Panner takes the intensity of the sound, the input sound, and pans according to its intensity. What's happening now with the multi-channel is that the plugin is internally taking the mix down of your track and deciphering the intensity of that mix down and panning the sounds accordingly. We can select the points where the sounds will start and will stop. So basically, as the intensity changes, by default, the sounds will move from left to right, the starting point to the finishing point. Instead of going from one point to another, we can make the sounds go from the speakers to a point. In this case, all channels will start from their original positions. So as you can see, we have left, center, right, the surrounds, the rear surrounds, and also the tops. And as the intensity changes, they will move towards the point. As you can hear, we can add some movement to our storm. I was also changing the ratio values to add more movement to the sounds. And I was also changing the attack and release values to dictate how fast the movement begins and how fast it will stop moving. Another cool thing we can do is to go the other way around. So instead of the sound starting from their original position, we can have them start at a point and going towards the speakers. Up until now, we've been using the pan mode, but we can also use the sliding mode. The main difference between the two is that the pan mode has the limitations of a starting and ending position, whereas the sliding mode, even though you have these positions, the sounds can move over and over again, rotating as long as there's audio. So let's see what type of sounds we can get from the sliding mode. This was the sliding mode. Obviously, you can add even more movement to your sounds, especially for sound effects, extreme sound effects. This is very effective. And let's give a listen to our next example. Let's add the energy banner and see what we can come up with. And let's do what we did before and have the sound starting from their original positions. As you can see, it's very easy to add movement to this type of sounds. Since it's an underwater sound, it makes much sense to have this type of movement. I think it sounds pretty cool, but let's try other modes and see what we can come up with. And let's move on to our last example. For this one, we created a 7.1.2 file of an explosion that sounds like this. And now the idea is to add some type of movement, maybe some type of spread movement using the energy banner. Depending on you set your initial and final positions, you can pan the sounds from left to right or maybe from front to back. In order to add a spread-like effect, we may start from the point and go towards the original positions of the speakers. And let's also try to go from the speakers to the point. Let's also see if we can create some interesting results with the sliding mode. This is the end of our multi-channel tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to download the trial and give it a try for yourself. I bet you're gonna have a lot of fun using the Energy Banner to create some pretty cool sounds. Thank you.